What is up everyone, Movie Wayne back again with another Blu-ray and 4K update. This is just me showing off all the movies and TV shows that I bought on Blu-ray or 4K in the past few weeks. You know how these videos go now. I've done a ton of them. Now, I'd just like to say I did go to Birmingham with a couple of YouTubers over the weekend and we had such a great time. It was glad to finally meet these guys, Movie Bug, his friend Ryan, Alex Pitt, his girlfriend Kyra, and Alex Hampton. We had such a good time, you know, got really drunk. And the next day, we did actually go on a little bit of a Blu-ray hunt. And the HMV there was really big. So, yeah, I picked a few things up. And one of the things that I picked up in that HMV was Babylon on 4K. Now, it's very rare that I buy a brand new 4K. Sometimes I just wait for the price drop because most of the new ones that come out, I've seen them on the cinema anyway. Unless it's like a limited edition, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something like that, something I really want. But I missed this one at the cinema. I did have it booked to go with my friend Jamie and stuff. And something came up. My wife had to go to hospital. She's pregnant at the minute and they just had to check on her. And I missed out, and the other times for this 3-hour movie were very late, and I just thought, there's no way I'm going to stay awake. So I finally got it on 4K. I've been desperate to see this movie, and I had such a good time with it. Damien Chazelle is definitely one of the most exciting and best filmmakers working today. I've seen 3 of his 4 movies. I've got First Man, but I haven't watched it yet, but I've loved all 3 of them. They are fantastic films, and this one was no exception. This basically is a Hollywood tale. It kind of reminded me of the movie Singing in the Rain, kind of like a remake almost. And the movie knows that. It actually shows Singing in the Rain in parts of this movie. It kind of knows what it's doing. But it follows the biggest actor in Hollywood at the moment, in Brad Pitt, and Margot Robbie as an actress. And how their lives go, what Hollywood does to them, the parties, the people they get to meet, the movies they work on, the movie sets. It's a big Hollywood tale, basically. The music in this film was incredible. It's still been stuck in my head. I watched it 4 days ago now, I think. And the music is still in my head. It's one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard, one of the best scores. Great cast all around. This guy really done it for me, Diego Calva. He is actually the main star of the movie, or the main protagonist, if you like. It shows Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie in there, but it is mainly Diego Calva. But I had a great time with this movie. I thought it was so funny, so well shot, really well directed. It looked amazing on 4K, great characters, and the 3 hours absolutely flew by. And I can't wait to watch this again with my wife. She's up for watching it, and I can't wait to revisit it, because I do think this will be better on rewatch. But that is Babylon. Finally glad to see this one. Next up, we have The Fast and the Furious 9 on 4K. I bought the Fast and Furious 8 movie box set, so I got this one to add to it, basically, just before the movie Fast X was coming out, which I have seen now, and I'll talk about that more in my end of month vlog. This was probably one of the weaker ones in the franchise, but it was still good. I still enjoyed it. I really enjoy these characters now. They're just so fun to be around. It is ridiculous, this one. Probably the most ridiculous one out of them all. I mean, we go to space at one point in this film. I was a bit mixed on John Cena. Vin Diesel's got this brother that he's never mentioned, even though family is the biggest thing in his life. And he just thrown into the mix there. You've just got to let all that go with these movies, because otherwise, if you look too deep into them, all you will find is flaws. But yeah, it was okay. I didn't mind it. The first 30 minutes were great. And then it started to slowly come downhill after that. But not a bad entry into a franchise I have really enjoyed. And we also have Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw. This actually should be watched before Fast 9. I probably should have showed this one first. One of the weaker ones in the franchise. I actually preferred Fast 9 just a little bit more there. But I didn't dislike it or anything. It just went really comedic, and they are kind of family-friendly movies anyway, but this one went into the bit more of an extreme family-friendly film. I felt like I was watching a bit of a kid's movie at times. Idris Elba was a good villain though, and Vanessa Kirby. Always like to see her in movies, especially, the likes of Mission Impossible and stuff. And she'd done a great job in that film where she gives birth at the start and it's all in one shot. I forgot the name of it. It came to Netflix, but she's a great actress, and she played a great character here too. But yeah, I didn't mind this one. It was okay, you know, but just one of the weaker ones in the franchise, I'm afraid. Next up, we have Coming to America on 4K. I've been after this one for a while, and when I seen it for quite cheap in CEX, I grabbed it. It's always like around the £20 mark, and I seen it for a tenner, so I just picked it up. I watched this for the first time a couple of years ago because Coming to America was coming out, and this surprised me how much I really liked it. It was a really great comedy. I thought it might have been dated or anything, because I believe it's an 80s movie, and it wasn't. I had such a fun time with it. I really loved Eddie Murphy in this, and the whole story of him going to New York and giving up his riches and stuff to meet a woman. It all worked, and it's a really good little story going on there. So yeah, a great comedy that I'm very happy to have in the collection. Next up is a movie I have not seen, but that is Kingsman, The Golden Circle. I have watched the first one for the first time last year, and I've been meaning to pick this one up. So when I seen it, I just grabbed it. I've heard it's not as good as the first movie, so only I can make that decision for myself when I watch it. But I did really enjoy the first one, so I'm looking forward to getting to this one. Now, we had an Arrow sale over the last month, and I picked up a few titles which are all coming up now. And the first one I picked up was The Last Matey. I was on a stream with Scott the movie critic, and his friend Nige recommended this movie to me. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to grab it. And yeah, it was okay. It's about a killer who goes to this cinema and starts taking out people in the audience, basically. There's only like 7 people in the audience or something, but he silently starts to take them out. And the movie's biggest quality is easily the kills. There are some very creative kill scenes here. I really like the one where this guy goes out for a cigarette, and as soon as he takes his first drag of it, his throat is slit and all the smoke's coming out of his throat and stuff. And there's a couple at the cinema who are killed in a way where it looks like they're still sort of kissing in the cinema, so no one notices and stuff. It's a Spanish movie, I believe. It was okay. I didn't mind it. I wish there was a bit more story and the killer was a little bit better. They were the kind of letdowns, but for creative kills, it delivered in that department. Next up, we have The Exorcist 3, a movie I have never actually watched all the way through. I've seen snippets of it here and there. I've seen the big jump scare, but I've just never actually sat there and watched it. And I've heard so many people say this is a great story about a serial killer trying to be captured. We've got Brad Dourif in there, who does the voice of Chucky, obviously. So, yeah, I'm always happy to see him in movies, but I'm looking forward to checking this one out. I think I might do it around the time of the new Exorcist movie coming out. I might watch 1, 2, if I have to, and this one around that time. So, happy to finally own this from Arrow. Next up, I watched The Stuff. I've heard a lot of things about this film. It's basically a movie about killer yogurts, basically. But I do think there was some hidden messages about drugs in there. It's basically a movie about drug addiction, in my opinion, disguised as these yogurts that people are addicted to, especially when you see the last scene in the movie. But there was some fun little kills in here. I don't think the editing was too great, because sometimes a kill will happen and then it'll just cut to this person dead, and you can just tell that they didn't have the budget to actually create the killer, if you get me. It's kind of just about to happen, and it'll cut to the body being mutilated or whatever. But yeah, it had an 80s charm about it. I didn't love this film, okay? I thought it was going to be a little bit better after all the great things I've heard, but it was okay. I really like the main actor in this movie, though. I forgot his name, but is it Michael Moriarty? I thought he'd done a really good job in the lead role. He's kind of investigating this yogurt company and what they're getting up to and stuff, and thinks there's something wrong with them. So he goes in there to sort of investigate it. And I like the way they put a story in there. It wasn't just killer yogurts, there you go. There was a bit of a story in there. So I did like that aspect of the film. But overall, I didn't love this movie. Next up, we do have Tobe Hooper's Eaten Alive, his follow-up to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is the next movie he made, not a sequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. On paper, this is such a great concept. It's about a guy who owns this hotel, and he's got a pet crocodile, and he kind of feeds this crocodile his hotel guests, or uses it to kill them and stuff, so the bodies remain hidden. I think it could have been a lot better. There's some weird shit going on in this movie with weird, bizarre characters. The whole execution of the great concept is not done very well. The kills were really good, actually, though. I especially when the crocodile's involved and stuff. But overall, this was just a very, very strange film. The main villain in this movie, Judd, was not likable at all. He just annoyed the shit out of me. But I've got a full review for this over on my Movie Squirm channel, which I'll leave down below if you want to go and check it out. That is Eaten Alive, a video nasty as well, by the way. I'm going to move this little pile over here. Okay, next up we have Cabin Fever. I've watched this years ago. My sister had it on DVD. I thought it was quite an enjoyable movie. These people go to this cabin and this kind of disease starts to take over them and turn them sinister and stuff. It's not a bad film from Eli Roth. I think this might have been his directional debut, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a 2 and 3 out there now, which I haven't seen. But this is a cool little horror movie. I'm going to have to rewatch it at some point to bring my memory back over it. But I remember enjoying this back on DVD back in the day. Next up, we have the remake of Carrie starring Chloe Grace Moretz, a movie I have not seen. I do enjoy the original Carrie. And I do think horror remakes get a bad rap sometimes because most of them, I feel, work for me. I'm not saying this one is going to, but The Last House on the Left, The Hills of Eyes, they're kind of remakes that I think are better than the original. I don't think this will be better than the original because Carrie is really a good movie. But I'm interested in checking it out. It's a good little story concept. I feel great little story from Stephen King. So I'm interested to see what they do with this one. But maybe you guys can let me know if it's any good. Next up, a big shout out to my friend Tom180, who's been a subscriber on this channel for as long as I can remember. He comments on every single video. I message him daily on Instagram. And I sent him my copy of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre because I upgraded to 4K and he really wanted to send me something. Tom, you didn't have to do that, mate. I insisted that he didn't have to, but he said he's not going to watch this movie again. Maybe I'll get a bit more enjoyment out of it. And that is The Deep from 101 Films. There's been a couple of occasions where I've been thinking about picking this up because I really like that cover there, but I don't know too much about it. Apparently it's a bit of an adventure film, and I think it's got the guy off Jaws in it. It's Jaws writer, Peter Benchley. Sorry about that. I thought the guy... Oh yeah, Robert Shaw, he is in the movie. So... yeah, I think this is a bit of an adventure film out at sea and stuff, but I don't know anything about it really, apart from, that it's an adventure movie, basically. But Tom, thank you so much for sending me that, mate. I'll try and get round to it soon. Next up, we have, yes, I went and bought it. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a very good film, but I don't think this was anywhere near as bad as what people were saying. I got a little bit of a kick out of it. It's kind of like The Last Matey, where there is no real story. It's just about the kills. I mean, there is a little bit of a backstory at the start, but no meat on the bones, if you like. But I thought there was some okay kills in here. Yes, they are ruined by a lot of CGI blood. But it was a lot darker and sinister than I thought it would be. I mean, they really go for these gnarly kills in this movie. The costume design is terrible, to be honest. But overall, I didn't mind it. Some terrible acting, but there was a main actress was okay. I forgot her name, but she was okay. Her friends were kind of bad. But overall, I will watch this again. I'm planning on doing a full review on this on my horror channel, so look out for that. But I'm going to rewatch this and do that review. But yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't. Kill me. Next up is a pretty, I wouldn't say underrated horror, because everyone I know who watches it thinks it's a good movie, but not many people talk about it, and that is Clown. And this is about this guy who he hires a clown for his son's birthday, and the clown does not show up. So his dad says, "I'll dress up as the clown. You'll be disappointed if I don't." And he finds this clown suit. I think it's in his attic or something. Puts the clown suit on, does the party tricks and whatever, and then he can't get this clown suit off at all, and the makeup won't come off and so, and this clown suit starts to take over him and turn him into a sadistic killer, basically. I won't say too much more than that, but this one really surprised me. One of the better killer clown movies out there. Some of them are terrible. But every time there's a killer clown movie, I'm going to watch it. But I did enjoy this one. It was quite a clever film, and I like how it delves deep into the history of clowns at some point. Like, it tries to explain how they came about and stuff. I found that quite interesting. But yeah, I do recommend this if you're a horror fan. Next up is a movie I've never seen, but I've had it on my list for a while now, and that is Cherry Falls. I think this is about a killer who's going around this town called Cherry Falls and killing virgins. So these people all get together and decide to mate with someone so they can have sex and they're safe. That's what it says on the back anyway, but I have not checked this one out yet. My wife thinks this is quite a good movie. It's just one that passed me by back in the day, but I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Brittany Murphy in there. And finally, we do have Chucky Season 1. I'm a big Chucky fan, so I was always going to grab this at some point. There's a lot wrong with this show, and there's a lot to like as well. Chucky himself is awesome, but the characters in this are just so unlikable. So it's a bit of a mixed bag. Chucky doing his thing is great, and I like the backstory it had with Charles Lee Ray and stuff, all the flashbacks, that work for me as well. So it's a mixed bag. I didn't hate this series. I didn't love it. It was kind of a 6 out of 10 for me. I haven't checked out Season 2 yet, so I'll have to grab that one as well when I see it. So thank you so much, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. What did you think of these pickups? Have you seen these movies, haven't you? Let me know the ones that I haven't seen, if they're any good. Let me know your thoughts on all these films, and I'll try and get back to you all, I promise. And if you want more Blu-ray and 4K updates, they'll be in the link down below, along with my review of Eaten Alive. So thanks so much, guys. Take it all easy, and I'll see you all on the next video.